So, with the permission of chairperson's secretary, ma'am, school education, chairperson CBSE, and honorable chairman AICTE, we'll start this function. So, good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, AICTE, and CBSE, I, Dr. Ilangovan, Assistant Innovation Director, Innovation Cell, extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries present here today, and the directors, commissioners of school department across the country, principals, teachers, students, experts of different committee, joining online from various parts of our country for the launch of School Innovation Council and recognition of 12,000 plus school teachers as Innovation Ambassador today. With this introduction, I would like to request Dr. Biswajit Sir, Director Training and Skill Education CBSE, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Ellen. Good afternoon to all the dignitaries. Respected Secretary, School Education and Literacy, Government of India, Madam Anita Karwal. Respected Chairpersons, Central Board of Secondary Educations, Madam Nidhi Chibbar. Respected Chairman, All India Council for Technical Education, Sri Anil Sahasrabudhe sir. Abhay Jareji, Chief Innovation Officers, Ministry of Education. My other colleagues from AICTE, Ministry of Education, CBSE, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and of course, all the participant school leaders, and especially those who have completed this Innovation Ambassador program under the flagship initiative of Innovation Cell. Let me welcome all of you to this August gathering. This is a kind of moment we are here to celebrate. One way to acknowledge the effort of All India Council for Technical Education and Innovation Cells of under Ministry of Education. At the same time, the 12,000 school teachers who have completed this Innovation Ambassador program, consisting of multiple modules which instill the knowledge base from design thinking to 21st century skills. And anyway, they are equipped to carry forward the mission of K-12 education sector, especially new education policy, through which we are intending to offer artificial intelligence to design thinking and other emerging areas of technology. At the same time, under the guidance of the Ministry of Education, DIPP, and other elite organizations, we were able to formulate the school innovations and entrepreneurships policy, which was which CBSE has already the draft versions we have given for the nation's viewing. And many of our school leader and representative from higher educations has given different kind of feedback. And I think today is the time, after incorporating all this feedback, to launch for the nation and especially for the K-12 sector. And my mentor, Anil Sahasrabudhe sir, is very much here. From the higher education side, how the Idea Lab and these School Innovations Council can actively participate, I think some way our eminent dignitaries are going to highlight these issues. The last component, of course, the design thinking curriculum, again, which our dearest Anita ma'am has asked us to, both me as well as Abhayji, how it can be a regular school curriculum. I think, madam, today is the reality. Whatever directions has been given to us, it is ready, and many of our faculty members, both from the IIT as well as from the school, they have able to formulate this, and from class 6 onwards, it is ready for the nation. With this, once again, let me welcome all the dignitaries, all the participant school leaders, teachers, and the peoples from the higher educations and other organizations. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome address. Now I would request Chief Innovation Officer, Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, Dr. Abejare, sir, to provide insight about the program.
Honorable Anita Madam, Professor Sahasrabuddhe, Srimati Nidhi Ji, I would like to first thank Ministry of Education, especially Department of School Education and Literacy, AICTE and CBSE for coming together for this very, very innovative initiative which we are launching from today. Currently, if you really look at the national scenario, we have 1.5 lakh secondary schools and 1.39 lakh higher secondary schools. And we really are keen on pushing concepts related to innovation, ideation, entrepreneurship within all these organizations. Currently, we are chasing academics, marks, grades. We are not chasing ideas. And this culture needs to change. The education system, which we have inherited for the last 70 years, had more stress and swallow and vomit kind of mechanism. But the new education policy, which is getting championed by Ministry of Education, is aiming to create a tectonic shift. And the current initiative, which we are launching, is going to be supportive in that direction. So when we are approaching innovation ecosystem within schools, we have decided to work on 4 aspects or 4 pillars. First, creating more and more national platforms which will give opportunity for our youngsters to showcase their talent, to showcase their innovative ideas, to showcase their creativity. Madam personally is actually championing Smart India Hackathon. And for the first time, we had actually schools participating in Smart India Hackathon. We had participation from schools for Toykathon. And we will be creating more and more such platforms to showcase innovations, ideations from schools. The second pillar is policy intervention. And as Sahaji said, we already have drafted National Innovation and Startup Policy for schools, and currently it is in public domain. And we are seeking inputs from various professionals, thinkers, teachers on that policy. Until date, we have received more than 1,000 feedbacks, and we are in process of evaluating them and actually create and compiling them. The third pillar is innovative courses. And as you are aware, that CBSE, in coordination with Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, has launched design thinking curriculum from 6th standard. The books are already in public domain, and we already have interest from more than 440 schools who are keen on implementing this elective. And finally, the most important one is hand-holding. Hand-holding of schools, hand-holding of teachers, trainings, And we are working on these all four pillars in parallel. So one of the key initiative which we launched last year was School Innovation Ambassador Training Program. Because we can talk about innovation at highest level from forums, from dioceses, but we really need to have on-ground change agents. And we believe that these innovation ambassadors are going to be our on-ground change agents in schools. And these innovation ambassadors went through enormous training. This program was launched on 16th of July, and more than 12,000 teachers have completed this training program. It has 5 modules. It's a 72 hours training program and followed by assessment. And the assessments were very, very strict, and 50% passing was expected to actually complete the module in that assessment. We had 5 modules. The first module was on design thinking and innovation. The second module was idea generation and idea handholding. Third module was on entrepreneurship and prototype building. Fourth module was on IPR. And fifth module was on finance, sales, and HR. And these modules were designed by best of the people available in India. For example, Imagine XP actually went ahead and designed the design thinking module, and they trained more than 25,000 teachers for free. And all these modules were designed by industry experts on pro bono manner. They didn't charge us a single penny. They not only designed the content, they were there, they actually conducted more than 100 sessions individually. I request all to please go on mute. You are disturbing others. We had companies like Skillet, EDI, Westfire, Financial Planning and Standard Board contributing towards development of these modules. We will actually go ahead and check the numbers. What is the current status? So we have 12,731 people or 31 teachers actually completing these modules. And we hope that more 14,000 will go ahead and complete these modules in next month or so. All these modules are available online. And even since yesterday, we had more than 500 people actually completing the module and assessment. So this is the basic statistics. This is the basic statistics which is there. We have registrations from 11,000 schools. 57,000 teachers have got enrolled. 12,000 plus have actually completed all the modules. So let's check, or let's look at a small video what teachers are talking about this Innovation Ambassador Training Program. So I will just I will just move out of this system and open that video. So can you see? So this is the current spread of our Innovation Ambassador training program. And actually, we have covered almost all states and all union territories. This network is continuously expanding. We are going to build a community out of this network. And we will be not only just, this is just a training, is just the beginning. We will be continuously hand-holding them, supporting them. They're already part of our Telegram group, through which we are pushing a lot of information to ensure that this community flourishes, their concepts evolve, and they are aware of the latest in the field. So this is the first initiative which we tried with school education, and it was a phenomenal success. And considering the success and feedback and outcome of this program, we felt that we have to expand this initiative forward. And as a result of which, now today, we are going to launch School Innovation Councils program. This is again a very, very innovative initiative. We have tried this at higher education. For 3 years, we are trying this model, and it has brought immense success in higher education. So we have further tweaked this model, and we have made it adoptable for schools, which we are calling School Innovation Councils. So when we look at higher education, we started with first year we had IICs, which we call Institutional Innovation Councils in higher education. We had in 940 institutions in 2018-19, and now we have councils in 3,700 plus institutions. And we work with them on monthly basis. We track their progress through our platform on monthly basis. And as a result of which, I am very, very happy to share with you that within the last 4 years, we have more than 75,000 initiatives which have got organized related to innovation and entrepreneurship. And they are area of subjects like design thinking, startups, pre-incubation, incubation, IPR, how to raise funding. All these subjects or all these areas are getting covered. We have a very, very definite calendar, and we actually work with the institutions on executing the programs which we have prescribed in that calendar. And once the institutions complete these programs, we actually go ahead and rate these institutions in stars. And the best performing institutions actually end up getting 4 stars or 5 stars, which they actually use for advertising their content, advertising their institution, for attracting better talent, better faculty members within their institution. So it has been a very, very successful program. And we are adopting the same program towards School Innovation Councils. And then eventually we will be connecting our School Innovation Councils with IIC so that the seamless hand-holding of institutions actually happen, mentoring of institutions happen. So this is a 360-degree program which we have developed. The first circle you will see is more about awareness and training. And the second circle which you will you see is related to innovation and startup creation. So if you really focus on the first aspect of the first bigger circle, it starts with motivational talks, followed by workshops, teacher trainings. Then, and these workshops involve concepts related to IPR, concepts related to how to handhold an idea at pre-incubation level, incubation level, how to think about business, and so on and so forth. So these are the trainings happen. Then the last part of that first step or the first circle which you will see are field visits. And after the field visits, students will be encouraged to actually identify problem statements. So already bagless weeks are there as part of new NEP. But even we don't have to wait for the implementation of NEP, we can start, because many schools do field visits. But now we will request schools to do field visits and have an approach where they can go ahead and identify problems. Once you have identified problems, then we move to the second smaller circle where we start for ideation or how to solve that problem. And then we do idea challenges, idea competitions around it. We go ahead and select good ideas against those problem statements, and we start working on the prototype of it. Once we have developed prototypes, we will actually get into explore the possibility of whether those prototypes or those ideas have business potential. And if required, we will actually go ahead and train the students, conduct a boot camp for business model development for some of the selected ideas. Once that is done, if we see that idea is really good, the business model is feasible, then we will take them for national exhibitions and boot camps, and eventually we will push these great ideas into incubators so that they could be converted into startups. So for the first time, we are actually creating an ecosystem where we will start with awareness through idea generation, to prototype development, to business model development, and then converting those good ideas into startups and even funding those startups. Yesterday, I was with Anita Madam, and Anita Madam actually said to me that, Abhay, we will certainly explore the possibility of funding these startups because we have budgets for it. So, see, we can actually create a good culture of ideation, innovation, and entrepreneurship if we follow this thought process. This council will not only have teachers and students from schools, but will also have external experts, like IPR experts, experts related to finance, experts from banks, and we have given a very clear methodology around what kind of experts we want in this council. So this is the platform which is there, which Madam will soon inaugurate. And then we will take we will discuss more in this regard from the platform perspective. So thank you very much for your patient listening. I hand over it to Ellen again, back to Ellen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for providing deep insight about the School Innovation Council and School Innovation Ambassador Training Program and guiding us in Innovation Cell initiative for the benefit of schools, higher education institution, faculties, teachers, and students concurrently. Thank you, sir. Now I request Chairperson CBSE, Srimati Nidhi Chabbar ma'am, to address the participants.
మా ఓడికి అప్పుడు 6వ నెల 7వ నెల
Respected Secretary Ma'am, Department of School Education, Chairman AICTE, officials from the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Chief Innovative Officer, MIC, Mr. Saha, all my colleagues and officials from CBSE, AICTE, state officials, and all the participants who have joined us today for the launch of the the Skill Innovation Council, the School Innovation Council program. CBSE has been a very active participant in planning, enabling, and implementing skill-based inputs to the schools as a major input of the NEP. This is a very good initiative which has been designed by MIC to foster skill learning in schools. And the School Innovation Council will bridge the gap in connecting the schools with the innovative and entrepreneurial ecosystem of the country. And this was something which was, I feel, missing. We have been talking of innovation centers and startups at the higher education level, but to bring it to school kids is, I think, the right way forward. It will create a good foundation for them to take these qualities of creative thinking and innovation thinking when they move out of schools to institutes of higher learning and thereafter to the industry and whichever field they want to join professionally. So this will give them a very good foundation, and as it was mentioned by Dr. Abhay Jaire, SIT, the School Innovation Ambassador Training Program, is an important component because it is the teachers, the trained teachers, who will take this initiative forward in their respective schools. And I've also been told that there has been a great response to this training program. 12,000 of teachers have been trained already, and there is a target, at least in the first phase, to train about 50,000. And they are the ones who are expected to foster in their respective schools an atmosphere where children are encouraged to think creatively and innovatively, to learn by doing things. So as Vishwajit has already mentioned, as a next step, we are also going to launch the design thinking skill module for classes 6 to 8. So many more such initiatives are in the pipeline, and CBSE would always be at the forefront in planning and implementing them under the guidance of our secretary. And today I wish to congratulate the team of trainers as well as the successful participants in the training program who have completed it. And I wish this program more successes in the coming days, and look forward to working collaboratively with AICTE, with other ministries, and with the entire school education ecosystem in the states as well, to take this idea forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your address and for extending your support in implementing these programs in CBSE school across the country. Thank you, ma'am. I would now like to invite Honorable Chairman AICTE, Professor Anil Sastrabudhe, sir, to address the participants of the program. Please, sir.
Yeah, namaskar. Good afternoon to all of you. I'm very delighted, happy that part of launch of School Innovation Councils and also recognition of 12,000 plus school teachers who have been qualified as innovation ambassadors. It's a very exciting moment for me to be amongst all of you. Madam Anita Karwalji, Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, who has been constantly driving along with Ministry's Innovation Council as well as AICTE to start new initiatives. Srimati Nidhi Chibhar, Chairperson CBSE, who has recently joined this, and then she has also joined in full swing and in full vigor Dr. Vishwajit Saha, who has been associated with us for quite some time on various other occasions on different platforms as well. And all the teachers who are amongst us today, all the students who are listening to us, and my own colleague, Dr. Abhay Jaire, who has been driving the entire program of Ministry's Innovation Cell, ably supported by Gautam Gambhir. We are all very happy that this is a very unique, what we call Triveni Sangam. There is a school education secretary involved, CBSE, which is driving the school education from class 1 to 12. They are all associated with us. And AICTE, which is a regulatory body for higher technical education, is also partnering along with Ministry's Innovation Cell. So I think this is a very exciting moment where huge number of teachers and students are going to be, in a way, going to be taken care of in the circle of what we call innovation. It has various elements and facets. Let me come to the entire philosophy itself of bringing in courses like AI, design thinking in the school curriculum. That means whatever we were doing in the higher education sector is being brought at the level of 6th standard by the school education sector. Be it starting off the courses such as AI design thinking, which are also of recent origin even in higher education, but they have caught up so fast actually in the school education. We have, as Abhay said, innovation councils in each institution of the higher education, and now they are being brought in the school education. We had ambassadors for innovation in our higher education sector. There are ambassadors as teachers from the school education. So whatever is happening in the higher education, technical education sector is being brought to the level of schools. I think there is a what we call very futuristic planning which is happening, and India is going to go to places by all these activities which have been undertaken. I'm again coming back to the policy. As far as the AICTE's initial startup policy was there, then we had an innovation and startup policy which was revised for all higher education sector, and now we are talking about school innovation and entrepreneurship policy. So why not students at the age of 10, 12 also can become creators of startups? I think that is what we are trying to investigate and do it. Now, as I said, there are processes which are very, very relevant and important. Coursework is one part which is already being brought in, whether it is AI, design thinking, or innovation as one of the courses in the school curriculum. But our teachers have to understand that inquisitiveness, the curiosity, the creativity which is there in the young minds at the age of school. I have found that it goes on getting depleted as we go higher up, and it is much poorer in higher education and more in university education. And therefore, how do we rekindle that and keep it live, kicking, is the responsibility of all our teachers. And that's why it has direct relationship with how we deal with in the classes, how we allow ideas to flourish, how we conduct our examinations, where we don't ask only rote learning questions, but allow students to be really creative in terms of even writing examination answer papers, to any innovative idea which comes, how do we support? This support system is very, very important, and therefore empowering teachers was necessary. And this entire CIAT, that is the ambassador program for teachers, which we have started, where more than now 12,000 teachers have qualified in all the 5 modules, starting with design thinking, innovation, intellectual property rights, idea generation to idea handholding, finance, sales, HR, as well as entrepreneurship and prototype product development. I think it's a full cycle. All these 5 modules of 72 plus hours are going to be really taking our teachers to the next level. And each one of them, if they start doing a bit of it in their schools and engage with their schools students in terms of mentoring, I'm sure great ideas will come from that young minds. And these ideas will come much, much better from, as I said, they are not constrained by any of the thought processes. Unlike we are taught so many things and then we think that this is not possible, that is not possible as we go older. But in young generation, it is very easily possible that they will always support all of this. And this whole initiative taken by the school education, I appreciate, I welcome, and whatever support is required from AICTE, we are always ready to help. In the beginning, Vishwajit Saha also told how do we connect with the higher education sector and talked about idea labs. We also have tinkering labs in the schools, set up by the Atal Innovation Mission from the Niti Aayog. We have idea labs in the higher education sector. There are R&D labs and excellent research facilities in the institutions of eminence and excellence like IITs and Indian Institute of Science, Research Park. And therefore, there is a strong need for connecting all of this so that these ideas which come from young age can flourish in the truest sense and create jobs right from these kind of startups and innovators who come from even school side. That is what is the vision with which we are moving ahead. My compliments to Dr. Abhay Jere and his team for fully supporting this whole activity. And of course, Srimati Anita Karwal, who has been strong support, a big support base which we get from her in all matters. Thank you for so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your address and for mentoring us towards the successful implementation of Ministry of Education Innovation Cell initiatives and AICTE initiative. Thank you, sir. Now we arrive to the most awaited stage of the program. I would now like to take the consent of Secretary School Education, Chairman AICTE, and Chairperson CBSE to launch School Innovation Council.
So shall we go ahead?
Okay, please go ahead.
Can you? So this is the website. This platform, entire platform is there. This is the landing page for the platform. And currently we have already went ahead and registered from backend all the innovation ambassadors. So their schools have already got registered. And currently we have, if you see, more than 3,000 plus schools. And if you just click on each of the states, you will see the number of schools actually moving in this direction. So we are in touch with school innovation ambassadors, and we will be actually seeking their help in completing this registration and taking this entire initiative forward.
Thank you. I thank the dignitaries for this, and I also once again seek the permission to recognize 12,000 plus school innovation ambassadors and release certificate to them.
Please go ahead.
So this certificate will be digitally sent today to all the innovation ambassadors.
Now it's open.
Now, it's already opened and it's already sent. You have already started sending it.
Yes.
With personalized certificate with their names and everything.
Yes.
So we have built that system in-house platform, and all the registered innovation ambassadors will get the certificate, madam.
So I thank the Secretary of School Education, Chairman AICTE, and Chairperson CBSE for launching and recognizing the innovation ambassadors and launching School Innovation Council. I'm sure this Innovation Council will benefit the large number of teachers and school students across the country. I would now request Secretary of School Education and Literacy, Sri Anita Karwal ma'am, to address the participants.
Very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would like to place on record my very, very deep appreciation and gratefulness to AICTE, particularly to the chairman, Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe, who is in fact our pillar of strength. He was talking about us being his pillar of strength, but actually it is the other way around. Everything that I throw at him, it gets done in the next 24 hours or it is immediately taken up. This kind of spirit and this kind of initiative is very rare. You're a very, very rare gem, I must tell you that. I also want to place on record my appreciation of the work that is being done by the Center for Innovation led by Dr. Abhay Jere. Abhay is a person who throws a lot of pebbles into the water and keeps throwing them until there are waves are formed and the river flows forward. Very persistent, very creative, very innovative. Thank you, Dr. Abhay, and your team, which is doing such wonderful work. Nidhi, you are a new entrant to the system, but CBSE is a highly, highly progressive board, and I'm so glad that you have joined us and in the same spirit. So you and your team, including Dr. Biswajit, have actually led this forward. So once again, thank you so much for this. I'm really grateful that all the states, the schools that have participated, the principals, the teachers who are here with us, 12,000 plus is a huge number. Though, of course, we had expected that all 50,000 would complete by this time, but various reasons, the pandemic has been a huge spoiler for us. But 12,000 is a huge number despite the pandemic, and congratulations to all of you. So I thought I will take this opportunity today to place before you 6 or 7 points about what the future looks like for our child. So you know that the country is already talking about 2047 because we are in the 75th year of independence and 100 years will be completed in 2047 and things are going to change. The demographic dividend that we keep talking about is available to us only up till around 2047, 2050. Which means that the working population will be more than the other population, and that period is likely to get over in 2050. So what we are doing today is actually in our schools we need to prepare our children for this future, which we don't have any idea about. We have no idea what kind of technology is coming in, what kind of societal challenges are coming in, what kind of requirements will be there in future from the environment side, from the side of science, from the side of agriculture, from any side. Our child has no idea, our system has no idea, because the future is changing very fast. And given this background, it is necessary that every child is nurtured to become open to innovation, open, adaptable to innovation, open to innovation in every which way. So to make the child future ready, we have to make the child innovation ready and innovative. And to do this, we have to do a lot of things. I want to first take you back to two specific paragraphs that I love to quote all the time because they are my favorite paragraphs from the National Education Policy. Paragraph 9.1.2 is a two-line paragraph only, which states that if we want the holistic growth of every child in this country, then we have to ensure that we identify all the skills and abilities across preschool to higher education right up to PhD, and then work on those skills and abilities for those childs by integrating them in the curriculum of the child. This is 9.1.2. And absolutely related to this is paragraph 4.23, which actually lists down 18 skills, abilities, and competencies which every child needs to possess to be future ready. Amongst these 18, there are skills and abilities like proficiency in languages, foundational skills of numeracy and literacy, skill of environmental awareness and what you need to do for the environment, skill of gender sensitivity, skill of citizenship values, skill of knowledge of India, skill of scientific temper, skill of computational thinking and mathematical thinking, skill of innovation. A lot of stress has been given to the skill of innovation, to the skill of critical thinking, problem solving, etc. So these 18 skills, including the skill of innovation, is going to be the bedrock on which a child is going to become future ready. Now, this was the first point I wanted to place before you. This is the backdrop. Now, what is happening in this backdrop? So the general understanding of the school ecosystem is that unless I bring everything into my curriculum, I'm going to do nothing. So the present system, as Abhay laid a lot of stress on, what is the present system? It is a rote learning system which is based on textbooks. What we have forgotten today is that today our child is exposed to so much stimulation and interaction with its environment and technology and people and forces and challenges that you cannot limit the child's learning and abilities to textbooks. We have to go beyond the textbooks. Textbooks are not going to teach my child to be innovative. I have to go outside it. Textbook from now on must be used only as one of the tools which is utilized for developing cognitive abilities. It cannot be the only tool which we have done so far. Now, to do this, you don't have to wait for the curriculum to change. Things can change straight away. Innovation is one skill on which we need to focus. And related to innovation is the skill of critical thinking, of communication, of creativity, of collaboration, of problem solving. Related, these are all interrelated. And for bringing this in, what we need to do is, of course, there is a school innovation council that we have developed, but is that going to be the end all and be all of things? No. We have to bring in the child, we have to expose the child to innovation. If Abhay Chere says, I'm going to do a hackathon in the country, why are only 90,000 children participating in it? I have 25 crore children, out of which 12 crore are in grade 6 to 12. So why am I not getting 5 crore children participating in my hackathons? I am doing all kinds of Olympiads and competitions, but children are not participating. So firstly, I urge the teachers and the schools to get children closer to what is happening around and to participate in everything that will stimulate and help them develop their competencies. That is the first thing. Second thing I want to mention about the National Curriculum Framework. We have already got a very high-powered committee led by Dr. Kasturi Rangan preparing the National Curriculum Framework. And in the coming 8 to 10 months, we will have a new National Curriculum Framework based on the National Education Policy of 2020. Now, the focus area of this National Curriculum Framework is to show to us that the 4 stages of 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 require different pedagogical approaches. So the first stage of 5 requires an activity-based, play-based approach because it is from preschool to grade 2. Then the next stage from grade 3 to grade 5 requires a discovery-based and inquiry-based approach. Okay. Then when we go to the middle school stage of grade 6 to 8, it requires understanding of subjects and their interconnectivity, the connections between subjects, so that no silos are built. And the same thing then goes on with a lot of experiential learning from middle school to the secondary level of 9 to 12. Now, if you will see this, the way 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 has been laid down, there is a huge amount of stress on the creativity skills of the child. How does a child do inquiry-based learning, for example? Or how does a child do discovery-based learning, for example? How does a child do reflection in an experiential-based learning? It has to be with the help of skills of innovation. And this can only happen if the teacher herself or himself is in a position to utilize his own skills to bring this and imbibe this in the curriculum and in the classroom transaction. So our teachers need to be very, very well aware of these stages and the pedagogies that have to be brought in the class to bring in creativity skills. So this is the second point I wanted to raise today. The third point I want to mention is, if the curriculum is very heavy, then it hardly leaves any time for the child to indulge in aspects related to innovation and creativity and sports and art integration, etc., etc. We have made an attempt in NCERT to reduce the curriculum by almost 30 to 35%. This is only the beginning. When the new national curriculum framework will be there, the new curriculum, which is the cognitive part, the academic part, is going to be a highly reduced 4 essential curriculum. The idea is, and already the idea, we have already implemented it by reducing the curriculum. The idea is that use this additional 30-35% of time which is released to develop the child holistically by ensuring that the child imbibes all these 21st century skills of innovation and creativity, collaboration and communication, etc. And how does that happen? That happens by going outside the syllabus, by looking at what the societal requirements are, by doing reflection on it, by encouraging the children and group of children to take up these things as projects, to hack them, as Dr. Abhay Jere loves to say, we'll have to hack them and bring out solutions. These children have to become contributors to society and to the nation at the age of 9 or 10. Why have we got to wait for them to become 25 to contribute to the nation? In fact, when Dr. Sehastra Buddhe and Dr. Jere had approached me for the Toykathon last year, and we said, okay, we will get the schools on board. When the results came and the winners came, and I remember when you had arranged that conversation with the Honorable Prime Minister, there was a 10-year-old girl who was explaining with wonderful communication skills about the toy that she had built and what is the problem it was going to solve. This is the kind of thing we need in every child of ours. So please utilize this additional time that you are getting for developing these skills. That was the third point I wanted to mention. The fourth point I want to mention is that we have to be aware that there are certain areas where we require our children to be engaged creatively all the time. And one area I want to raise that aspect here today, because it is very dear to me and it is very dear to our ecosystem. The area of climate change. We are not realizing this. Climate change has already begun. The future is here already for climate change. We are already suffering it and it's going to get worse. So when you have so much time with the child must engage in hacking climate change, in innovating for climate change. And with climate change, so many things are related. Aside from the environment, there is agriculture, there is infrastructure, there is building, how education will happen, what will be the timings of education, what kind of science we need to get into, what kind of incinerators should be there, what kind of factories should be there, how industry should deal with waste. Everything borders around climate change. So if we take that as the central idea, then there are a whole lot of other aspects that are related to it. So we need to get our children into this zone for innovating, for coming out with creativity with regard to solutions for climate change, right from this age, that is the age of 9 or 10. The next point I want to mention is something which I have been discussing with Dr. Jere also, and Dr. Sehastra has really helped us actually bring out a framework on this. We are working on a draft policy for gifted children and talented children. And the policy that we have drafted and which is now circulated to all states and to many stakeholders for their comments is very clear that such children need to be identified at the school level, nurtured at the school level. And then, of course, nurtured at the district, state, and national level as well. And we are very keen in the school ecosystem to nurture children who come from this tech and idea and hackathon background. Because these are the children of our future, these are our unicorns, these are our children who are going to take us to very high levels of growth of the economy. So we are very, very keen to bring all this together. And as Dr. Sehastra mentioned, school to higher education is nothing but a continuum. It is organically linked. There has to be synchronization. And I'm so glad that we are doing it with the help of AICTE. Believe me, the school education department has tried individually with the universities and all. It didn't work until AICTE came into the picture and Center for Innovation came in. And it has become so smooth for us. And this is being given as an example everywhere for others to follow. So this being the continuum, we need to take care of our talented children and nurture them. So this is another idea that we are coming out with a draft. We will be coming out with tools to identify such children at early age, at later stage. There will be all kinds of competitions which will help identify Olympiads and hackathons and other competitions across states, across the country, in which children would need to participate to be identified as such. Then I want to also mention that we have SCERTs in the school system. Like we have NCERT at the national level, we have the state councils for education, research, and training. So the next step, in my view, Dr. Sehastra and Dr. Jere, is that we start training and capacity building of the SCERTs on what is innovation. What are innovation councils, how they can take it forward in the government schools in the states, etc. And we will be with you on this. We will jointly do this. CBSE has set the example now. We have been working with them. I think last year, July, this was launched, if I'm not mistaken. And now we are in July again. It's taken us a year, but now we know the pitfalls. We know how to go ahead. So this is the time now we start involving the states. The real India is living in those government schools. And India has already arrived on the scene of innovation with people such as you at the forefront. And we can only go forward from here. We are not going to go back from here. And since we have to go forward, this is, I feel, is a way forward. And we'll take it from here like this. I think with these few words, I would like to once again congratulate all the people who have been certified as school innovation ambassadors and who are going to set up the school innovation councils for us. We look forward to you coming back to us in the ministry and telling us and solving some of our problems. We look forward to the SICs telling the ministry that, Madam, your PM portion is not working well, here is a solution for you, or something like that. I'm just giving an example. We really look forward to this. We would feel so proud if you're able to come out with these kind of solutions for the society, for governance, for administration, for planning, and for the well-being and good of all in general. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your address and emphasizing about innovative skills in NEP, and also for guiding us in implementation of innovation initiatives in schools for the benefit of teachers and students across the country. Also, on behalf of Innovation Cell, AICTE, and CBSE, I extend my hearty thanks to Honorable Secretary of School Education for sparing your valuable time from your busy schedule, and also to grace the occasion and addressing the participants who have joined across the country. Ma'am, today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, which will encourage us for our future event. And also we assure that we'll take this innovation training to SCRT and make sure that they are also being trained successfully, as we have done for 12,000+ school teachers across the country. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your valuable input. We have noted on all the points what you have suggested. We'll make sure that we'll implement successfully. Thank you, ma'am. So now I would like to invite Director, Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, Dr. Mohit Gambhir, sir, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Ellen. And I would like to begin with what an auspicious occasion. I always say schools are the place where seeds of knowledge are being sowed. And today we are seeing the reality, the saplings would be coming very shortly. I'd like to extend my warm-hearted thanks to Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, Anita Karwal, ma'am. Ma'am, thanks for being the torchbearer for this program, bringing this to a reality, and also highlighting few things that we have to be prepared, the workforce for 2050, and every child out there must be open to innovation by holistic development. Ma'am, further, the points you highlighted, that textbooks, they are just one of the tool, and we should not wait, rather all the academic fraternity, for the curriculum to change, rather being change own self. And then the most intriguing point, that our students, rather the stakeholders, faculty members, they all should enter into and become the climate change agent and make the future wonderful for all of us, utilizing the innovation ecosystem. And I would like to thank Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, Chairman, our guiding force, our mentor, who is always there for anything. We just disturb him, we go to him, ask anything 24/7. He is always there for us. Thank you so much, sir. And also for highlighting the need for bridging the gap between the school and the higher education system, whereby following our institutions innovation council model for school innovation council model, and how things can be bridged in further, utilizing the existing infrastructure as well. Thank you so much, sir. I'd like to thank Shrimati Nidhi Chibba, Chairperson, CBSE. Thank you, ma'am, and I'm sure the way you mentioned that CBSE has a firm policy of planning, enabling, and implementing things. SICs would be another feather in the cap and would be bringing in many laurels from the school way to the colleges and to higher education. Then I would like to extend my hearty thanks to Dr. Abhay Jere, my senior, my colleague, for making this happen. Indeed, yes, we are on toes and he keeps us on toes, but for the good, for betterment of the country. And together, we are a wonderful team and making this realized under his able guidance. Thank you so much, Dr. Jere, and presenting the 4 pillars and other stuff to all the people and stakeholders out there. Dr. Biswajit Saha, Dr. R.P. Singh, who are our regular course of discussion, consulting point and everything. They are there always. Thank you, both of you, along with your whole team, for, again, putting these things in together. Moving forward, I would also like to thank the team who made this realize in a manner, the companies who delivered the course, as Dr. Jere mentioned, pro bono, free of cost, they charge nothing. That's design thinking and innovation, Imagine XP, idea generation and hand-holding, Skill IT, entrepreneurship and prototype product development, EDII Ahmedabad, then IPR, Veraspar Technologies, finance, sales and HR by Financial Planning Standard Boards Limited. I would again thank these companies that they came forward, they joined hand with us and trained the teachers out there. Subsequently, I believe if teachers are trained, students are going to bring in many fruits. Then Mr. Ajay and team for developing the website for us, and again free of cost. So I always say, when there are positive intentions are there, a lot of people are there to support, unimaginable is bound to happen. And I would like to close on that note. Thank you everyone for joining today. All the stakeholders out there, teachers, schools, everywhere, the students who are going to make our future brighter. Kudos to you. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone from our end. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for delivering a vote of thanks and guiding us in implementing MIC and Hackathon initiative. Thank you, sir. On behalf of Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, AICTE and CBSE, I thank dignitaries, commissioners, directors joined from different parts of our country, teachers and students who have been participating for this event actively across the country. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
And you should congratulate the teachers. Huh?
Yeah.
Who have successfully completed.
You can do it.
Yeah.
So I congratulate all the teachers. Today, as of now, number is 12,805. Because it was on Monday, the 12,000, whatever data we have given, it's 12,805 is the exact data now. So we can see the aggressive. In past 5 days, we had more than 800 teachers completed. So we are looking for have big numbers in coming days for successfully complete. Congratulations once again to all the teachers who are involved in this training and completed successfully. Thank you all.